he had unmatched me. Tom is really handsome in person. 약간 섣부른 생각이었을 수도 있어. But then he later like brings up,
oh, you know, I was actually like scrolling on Instagram and like I saw this girl on Reels that looked exactly like you, and she had like 5,000 followers.
And I was like, huh, okay, who was she? If you was a fan, just say so. What's up, cooties? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jenny Moon. So today's video, it's gonna be a little different than my previous long form videos. I'm planning to spill the tea on my dating life. Maybe you guys have seen my previous like short form get ready with me storytime videos where I tell you guys stories about my dates. But I went on a really shocking date a couple weeks ago, and I thought like there's like too much content from this date that I can't all fit it into like 1 minute. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to tell you guys everything, all the details, all the deets on what happened when I went on a date with a Korean man. So grab your drink, maybe a little snack, maybe some popcorn, and let's start this get ready with me story time. I'm gonna first prep my skin with these toner pads. Some of you guys might be surprised that I went on a date with a Korean guy. This is a very controversial topic, so I don't wanna say too much. I don't know if you guys remember, but I did post about like my personal experience with dating Korean guys maybe like 2-ish years ago. But honestly, like I got so much hate for that video that I had to take it down. And so if you remember, great. If you don't, it's fine. I guess all I'm gonna say is that I'm speaking from personal experience. I'm gonna use this to add hydration back into my face. And I don't know if you guys have seen my recent shorts, but your girl has been popping off on them dating apps. I was going on dates like maybe like once a week. I posted a lot about Hinge, but this guy I matched through Coffee Meets Bagel. And like, you know, like that app is like more for like serious daters. And like this might be surprising, but I am like looking for a boyfriend. Like I'm looking for like a serious relationship. Hence the reason why I had Coffee Meets Bagel, because that app is more for like serious dating and also like meeting more like Asian people. And before we get into the specifics, I feel like we need to give him an alias. Let's call him... I love coming up with these names. Let's call him... Tom. Let's call him Tom. I'm gonna use this foundation today. So I'm just like checking the app and I come across a guy that gave me flowers. And flowers on Coffee Meets Bagel is like the super like on Tinder. So I'm checking Tom's profile and I'm like, wait, this guy is like really cute. Tom seems to be like a very good looking guy. So I match with him and we're like talking. I think he said that he was like a master's student, and I could tell that he was Korean just from like his face and also like some of his pictures that he took in Korea. Also, he had a very like Korean like boy style. And he also said that on his profile, he was like an professional athlete. And I was like, okay, like that is a very intriguing profile. I've never gone out with an athlete or like an ex-athlete before. And to be honest, I don't think we like talked that much, which is like fine to me. Like I'm like more of the type to like not want to waste any time and just like talk a little bit to like get a vibe check and then meet in person to see if we actually vibe or not. Like I don't want to waste like weeks of like talking to each other only to realize that like we don't vibe in person. So yeah, we exchanged like a couple texts like over the course of a couple days, and Tom asked me out, and then Tom asked me for my number because he wanted to take me out for dinner. Oh, I remember like he asked me like, oh, are you more of like an activity date type of girly or like a dinner date type of girly? And I said dinner date. So he was like, amazing, like let's go here. And I was like, okay, like let's do it. But you know what I thought was so weird, guys? This was like the first yellow flag. Like as soon as I gave him my number, he had unmatched me. And I was like, okay, like that is kind of sus behavior. Because like usually like most guys don't do that. Like they just let matches like sit there. The reason why it's sus is because you can't access that profile once you unmatch the person. To me, it was like, okay, like I feel like you're trying to hide something from the get-go, which is a little bit sus, but you know, it wasn't like a complete red flag for me. So I was like, okay, noted. Whatever, I'm like still down to like meet this guy. We met on like a Monday, and Tom actually picked out a really nice sushi restaurant for our first date. And like when I checked it out, it was like really nice. It was like coarse hand roll omakase place in like downtown New York City. So I was actually really excited to try out the restaurant. I'm gonna use this concealer. It's actually super high coverage. But anyways, Monday night comes around. I'm having like a really busy day. So I'm like running kind of late. I call an Uber to the restaurant and I'm like editing videos in the Uber because I think I was like kind of like behind schedule for like my posting. So like you can kind of imagine me going to the restaurant like kind of like scatterbrained and like work brain mode. But yeah, I get to the restaurant. I knew that he was already there because he had texted me that he arrived like a couple minutes earlier. And then I asked like the hostess, oh, like I'm here for like a party of 2. Is there a reservation under Tom? And then she's like,
oh, like there's no Tom.
and I'm like, are you sure? My date said that he was already here. So I'm like taking a look around the restaurant and like, I don't see anyone that's like looking at me or like waving at me. I'm like double checking with the hostess, like, are you sure there's no Tom? And then she's like,
Yeah, there's like Jerry and John, but there's no Tom.
so I'm like, okay, weird. But I do see this one guy that's like sitting by himself. So I was like, maybe that's him because he has like dark hair. So I like go up to this guy and I'm like, Tom? He turns around and yes, it turns out to be Tom. He like flashes a smile and he's like,
Oh, like Jenny, you made it.
I'm like, oh yeah, like sorry to keep you waiting. Like, how are you? And I don't know about you guys, but there's always that moment when you like see the person that like you matched with online in person and then you like see their face. I mean, as like humans, like we're immediately like making judgments based on like what we see. And like I remember thinking like, holy crap, like this guy's like really handsome. Tom is really handsome in person. Like, I would say like even more handsome in person. So I was like, oh, like, okay, like what a pleasant surprise. And if people were to like ask me like what my type is, I do have like a very specific type that I like in guys. And my closest friends know this, but I like guys that kind of look like me. Like I like guys with nice skin, round eyes. If they have monolids, like, ooh, like I really like monolids on guys. And like pretty plump lips. And like before you start coming at me and saying that I'm like a narcissist or something, it's scientifically proven that as humans, we like people that look like ourselves, okay? But anyways, Tom, he had like all of the above. He had really nice skin, very pretty monolid eyes, a tall masculine nose, and beautiful lips. Like this guy had really pretty lips. So now I'm like thinking to myself like, yes, the universe is finally blessing me after going on dates with some crusty, dusty guys. But these are just judgments like based on like appearance. Like, I didn't get to know Tom yet. 약간 섣부른 생각이었을 수도 있어. And like within the first couple minutes, I feel like I can tell that Tom is interested in me too. Just by like the way that he's like looking at me, like he's very like smiley. And like overall, like the vibes are like pretty good. I'm gonna try this new setting powder. I've never tried it before. But one thing that like kind of threw me off about Tom was that like he kept like laughing at me. And like I wasn't making any jokes, so I didn't know why he was laughing at me. He said that I had this like blank stare. He said that I had like the cocaine eyes, and like he said that to me like within like the first like 5 minutes of like the date. So I was like, okay, like I don't know what to say to that. I think like because I was like editing and like doing emails like in the car, I was in my like super wired like work mode. But yeah, I guess like he liked that because he was, I don't know, amused or like entertained by it. He said that it was like The Office in real life. And honestly, I would have been offended. My friend actually had told me the same thing a couple months ago. So I was like, okay, like maybe I do have like the cocaine eyes or like the blank stare. I feel like I do like look at people like very intently to like get a good read of their vibe and like what they're thinking. So he was laughing a lot and I was like, cool, I guess. And then Tom starts talking about like his job. I learned that on top of like getting his master's in computer science at Columbia, he also is like working on a startup, like a tech startup. He's actually like coding a fashion company that he's building with like a business partner. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like I love my tech bros. I feel like I'm a pretty very ambitious person myself, so I do want to meet someone that's like matching that energy. And I also want to meet a guy that has good style. And Tom has really good style. Like he was wearing this like navy jacket, and I thought the logo was a Polo Ralph Lauren logo, and I was like, okay, like classy boy, I like that. But then later I realized it was YSL. I'm like, damn, like, okay boy, like I see you. And then I realized on his wrist, he's wearing a Van Cleef bracelet. Like, you know the ones that like all the girls wear? I've been wanting to buy that for a while now, and like I've never seen a guy wear it, but it was like really pretty. I'm gonna use this eyeshadow palette, but also he told me that his like fashion startup was like doing like luxury rental, so maybe it wasn't his, like maybe it was like all rented, LMAO. I can appreciate a guy with a nice sense of style, but also like I don't want him to be like too stylish, because like damn, like YSL jacket and like Van Cleef bracelet, he's like more dripped out than I am. Like low-key, I'm a little intimidated. And then Tom asks me about what I do, and I had on my profile that I'm actually an entrepreneur, which is not a lie. I have my own company, I have my own LLC. So I tell him like the prepared line that I have prepared for like all of my dates, which is that I do marketing for Korean cosmetic companies for them to reach like a global / like US audience, which is also true, but it's also like vague enough for it to like not give away my identity. The reason why like I don't like telling people that I'm an influencer or like quote unquote famous on the first date is because it really like changes how people like treat you. And if I like don't want to like continue like seeing that person, I don't want to like give them the bragging rights of them having gone on a date with like an influencer, because honestly like I've had some like shitty things happen to me because of what I do and like my online presence. So I try to like keep that part of myself private as long as possible. But anyways, so like when I like give him like this spiel about like what I do, like Tom has like this like look of wonder in his eyes, and he's like,
oh, like that's like really cool. Are you like more on like the consulting side or like the social media side?
and I'm thinking like that's a very specific question. Like why did he like choose those two things to like compare, like either this or that? Because like marketing is a very like big field. Like it doesn't have to be consulting or social media. Weirdly very specific, but okay. And then so I answer like like I do like mostly more of like online media. I'll create like content like for these like companies. And then he's like,
oh, okay, I got you.
so I thought the conversation about like the social media was over, but then he later like brings up,
oh, you know, I was actually like scrolling on Instagram, and like I saw this girl on Reels that looked exactly like you, and she had like 5,000 followers.
and I was like, huh. Okay, who was she? And he was like,
Oh, like I don't know who she was, but like she looked exactly like you.
and I'm like, what was the video about? And he said that like he couldn't remember. What an oddly specific question that I would never ask someone when I'm like meeting them for the first time. And the craziest thing was that he said that all in one breath. Like how like this girl on Reels looked like me and that she had 5,000 followers. And like the fact that like you said the exact number of her follower count, it's very crazy that like you're bringing this up within like the first 10 minutes of like meeting someone new from like a dating app. So I just kind of like laugh and like brush it off like, oh, like haha, like that's crazy, like must have been like some other like Korean girl, haha. So after that I thought the conversation about social media was truly over. But then he was like talking about how like his previous dates have went, and then he goes off to say,
oh, you know, like I was actually on a date with another influencer.
and then that's when it like clicked for me. Like this guy knows that I'm an influencer and he's hiding it. So like as soon as he said that, like I snapped back like, how did you know that I was an influencer? And when I said that, like the guy was like very flustered. He was like,
Oh, like you told me like just like in the beginning of this date.
and I was like, no, I didn't. Like I said that I do marketing for like cosmetic companies. Cause like I never like talked about like how many like followers I have or like the specific like brands that I work with. And we weren't even talking about like influencers like prior to this conversation. So like the only person that like he's referring to like could be me. And obviously like this guy is like very taken aback that like I like called him out on that. So he's just like coming up with like some like random ass like dumbass excuses. And I'm like, I just kind of like roll my eyes like whatever, like I'll just let this one fly. I want to be civil, like I want to have like a nice dinner. And so I'm like nodding to like the excuses that he's giving, but like obviously like I don't believe him. Anyways, he goes on to talk about the other influencer that he went on a date with, which I never asked about, by the way. He was like,
yeah, like she was like really pretty, but you could tell that she didn't have much going on like over here.
he's like making this like motion, like basically saying that she was dumb. And I think I said like, oh wow, like that's pretty mean. And like it took me some time to like process like, why the F would he be like saying this? Like, I would never like say that about my past dates on a first date. I mean, I guess I might talk shit about my dates online, but that's for content. I feel like first dates kind of different. Like the more I talk to this guy, my like sus meter is like going up and up and up and up. But you know what? At least the food was really good. Like the hand rolls, like, those were some tasty hand rolls. I would definitely go back there again. Anyways, I learned that this guy is also like somewhat of a content creator. He tells me that like he does like dating stories on like Instagram or like Threads where like he doesn't show his face, but apparently he does have like a pretty good following. And then he talks about like, yeah, like people just like love like dating stories. Later I asked him like, oh, like are you going to like make content like about like this date? And then like he pauses for like 5 seconds and I'm like, yeah, this guy's definitely making content about me. Which like honestly, like I guess I don't really care that much. If you guys have seen it, let me know. But I don't know what his socials are. Like he did ask me if I had Instagram. And I also like kind of didn't want to answer that question because again, like I don't really like telling people about like what I do on like social media and stuff. And so I kind of like didn't answer the question for like 5 seconds and then he was like,
oh, like it's okay, like you don't have to like dox yourself.
So I was like, I do have Instagram, but I don't really want to like talk about it because it's very public. But then he brings up like another influencer. Like y'all probably thought that we were done talking about like social media and influencers. No, he keeps bringing it up over and over and over again. Okay, I did my eyeliner off camera because I can't talk while I'm doing my eyeliner. But yeah, Tom asks me,
do you know?
And I'm like, yes, I know her. I mean, I don't know her personally, but I know her content. I'm gonna have to bleep her name out because I don't want to bring her into this mess. But basically, she's another well-known Korean American content creator. And then Tom goes off to talk about how he thinks that like we probably share like the same followers because we're in like the same niche. And I'm like, first of all, no, we're not. Like we are in different niches. I do beauty. She doesn't really do beauty. Second of all, the fact that like you know is like a bit strange to me because I feel like most guys probably don't know her. But yeah, the fact that like you're bringing her up in this conversation is weird. By this point, I'm like pretty sure like this guy knew who I was online before he met me. So I literally straight up asked Tom like, are you sure you didn't know like who I was online? Because I feel like you knew that I was an influencer before you met me. And of course Tom is like,
no, I swear to God, I didn't know who you were like at all.
Blah, blah, blah. On the outside, I'm just like nodding like, okay. But on the inside, I'm like, yeah, right, stop lying. I'm just a little like, why can't you be honest? If you're a fan, just say so. If you's a fan, just say so. Maybe he didn't want to be just a fan because he wanted to be like a love interest, but why you gotta be so sus about it? Like, why you gotta be so sus? And why do you have to keep bringing up social media? Because obviously, like, I never was giving off the vibes that, like, I was excited to talk about it. In fact, I would even go as far as to say that I probably looked really uncomfortable talking about it, but he kept bringing it up like it was his job or something. Looking back at it, I do feel like he was definitely a clout chaser, which is like the last thing that I want. Like this is exactly the reason why I don't tell people like exactly what I do like when I am like going on these dates. But damn, like if they like already know and like they act like they don't know, like what the F am I supposed to do? And like you think it can't get any worse? Oh girl, it gets it gets even worse. So we're like nearing like the end of our dinner. Most of like the courses like have come out. Food's amazing. But then he asks me what I'm looking for, and then I said that I'm looking for like something serious. Like I want to be in a long-term relationship. And like, you know what? Like I will give him credits for like us having good conversations when it wasn't about social media, because this guy was like pretty good at like asking questions. Like I hate when like guys like just yap and like never ask me questions. Seems like such a small thing to expect, right? But like some of these guys, like they talk too much. I mean, this guy was low-key talking too much too. But anyways, I want to try using this as a blush. But anyways, this guy asks me about exclusivity. And I'm like, I mean, ideally, I would want to decide exclusivity within 3 months. And then the guy acts like so surprised. He's like,
oh, like, okay.
So I asked him like, oh, like, why are you like reacting like that? And then he goes off to talk about how apparently like most of like his girlfriends, they told him that they would want exclusivity within like the first week. And I'm like, that's really interesting, because I feel like within like my group of friends, like I feel like I'm the more like traditional one for like most of like my girlfriends. And then he's like,
well, no, I don't really think so. I think I would want to like decide exclusivity within like the first week, or I feel like I would like immediately know, or actually like I feel like I do know.
Is what he said, implying that like he knows that he wants to be exclusive with me from like the 2 hours of dinner and conversation that we had. So I'm literally like, are you sure? And then he said,
yeah.
And I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom. I feel like a lot of girls like might be flattered, but like your girl ain't a teenager. She has some experience with guys, and this is called love bombing, okay? This guy barely knows anything about me. How would you know if you want to be exclusive with me after the first date? Like that's crazy. And let's say maybe he wasn't trying to manipulate me. I do feel like he was trying to manipulate me. Like good for you for like setting clear intentions, but that doesn't mean that like you have the right to like judge my timeline. Because I feel like he was really trying to talk me out of my timeline, or like at least like judging me for it. And I'm like, you don't gotta do that. Like you gotta like respect my timeline. Also, like this blush combo is looking so pretty. I love. I'm gonna use this contour. But yeah, we ended up getting drinks after dinner. Honestly, like looking back, like I feel like I should have dipped, but I'm just gonna be like so fucking real with you guys. Like I was mesmerized by his beauty. And I needed the time to like process all the stuff that he was saying. I feel like I really like took a day to really like analyze like everything that he was saying. But like in the moment, like I was in the moment. But anyways, we're getting a drink at a nearby bar, and he's not 100% like a bad guy. Like there's definitely like other parts of him that like I'm attracted to, which was why I was even giving him a chance. But something that was also weird from the conversations that we had in the bar was that like he brought up like why I was like looking for a boyfriend. And I was basically like telling him like how like I basically want someone to like lean on when like times are hard. And then he like goes off to like talk about like how like he was on another date with another girl. Again, like he's gotta like bring these girls up, like what you trying to prove? Like what are you trying to prove? But yeah, he was like,
oh yeah, you know what, that conversation like reminds me of like when I went on a date with this girl. Like she was an investment banker at like Goldman Sachs or whatever. And she was like this like really like high up executive, like really high up. She told me that like she was looking for a boyfriend because like she wanted someone to like celebrate her wins with.
And I'm like, why did you have to emphasize that so much? Like to me, it feels like you're trying to brag that like you went on a date with someone that is like very like successful in her field. And to me, like I don't really see a problem with like what she said to Tom. So I said like, oh, like maybe that's just like what she needed help with. Well, you know what is the craziest part? When he's like walking me to the train station, he like pulls out his phone and he's like,
oh wait, I gotta take a picture. I gotta update my friends on my close friend story.
And I'm like, excuse me? And like when he saw my reaction, he was like,
like just kidding.
And then he put his phone away. But I'm like, what the F we're gonna like do with that picture, huh? Like this is the reason why I can't like trust people. I'm out here trying to make like genuine connections. But when I meet people like this, I almost feel like dehumanized. Like yes, Tom looked like Texas, but he was also a walking red flag. And you know what's so funny? Tom asked me about like how I felt about like dating Korean guys. And I told him like, look, I think you guys could do a lot better. And the funny thing is like, he kind of agreed. And that's the thing with like Korean guys. Like when I talk to a lot of them, like they know that most of them suck. And then they usually follow up with,
oh, but I'm not like that.
and they usually end up being just like them. What did I end up doing about Tom, you might ask? Girl, I blocked his number. 그리고 그 데이트가 약간 시발점이었던 것 같아. Like after that date, like it was low-key traumatizing. It like makes me really tired of like the sad dating scene. It takes so much energy for me to try to find the one while trying to like avoid like these toxic men. But yeah, after going on a date with Tom, I deleted all my dating apps. And suddenly, my life feels so peaceful. Like I might not have like content to like talk about, like dating content if I ever want to make, but like damn, like I am so much less stressed. Here is the final makeup look for today. I really like how this makeup look turned out, and I hope you guys enjoyed my little dating story time. I feel like I'm not gonna be doing one of these videos for like a very long time because I don't really like see myself like going on dates for like the next like month or so. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you guys think that Tom was actually a good guy and I'm just being dramatic, or did I dodge a bullet? And Tom, if you're watching this, all right, and that's it for today's video. I'm manifesting better dates for you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.